Mr. Rothschild, in case you missed it, we had a great debate. It's on YouTube and everybody can watch it, the full extent of the interview and also a debate. So I plan to follow up with some of the stuff we discussed on that debate, if it's okay with you.
Go ahead.
Well, one of the questions that we discussed in the debate was if you would ever violate NAP. And your answer, the example I gave you was if you were faced with a situation where you were in extreme duress, where if you didn't violate somebody's rights, you would die of thirst. Let's say you were lost in the woods or something. Do I recall correctly that you agreed that you would violate NAP, but then later you would try to compensate the person for the
I think that's a
for
fair
the
assessment.
egregious action?
Right. I think it's a fair assessment. Yes.
Okay, well, my memory's pretty good, so we don't have any disagreement on that. We agree 100%.
Right. I don't really see how that's analogous to what the government does, because the government doesn't limit itself to violating rights only under extreme duress.
Oh, absolutely. We
So I don't see
agree.
how it's analogous
Oh,
to-
I just wanted to get to the point because there's a lot of anarchists who would say they would prefer to die and they wouldn't.
I don't think they're being honest. I don't know anyone who would say I'd rather
Larkin,
die.
Larkin Rose, for example.
Anyone who says they're going to die over taking a stranger's apple is full of shit. They're not being honest if they say that.
Well, I thought that at the time they may not, but this guy went to jail,
Right.
so he's pretty extreme in
That's
that he,
true.
and so maybe he would rather die. I usually don't doubt people's sincerity. I take them at their word.
True.
I
What
do
you
doubt.
What you say in the abstract and what you say when you're faced with the situation, I think, are two very different things.
Well, for me, hopefully, I've already thought it out, so I know exactly what I'm going to do in the situation. That's the whole point of bringing up these
agree.
different strange scenarios that are not very probable. So if you encounter them, you already have you have a thought process, and you know exactly what you're going to do, and you'll be completely consistent. Okay, let's talk about something that maybe we did disagree on. I asked you in the debate whether if under anarchism, in an anarchist society, you lived in Fairfax, let's say, oh, I shouldn't have said that, maybe it's okay.
It's fine. You can say where I live. It's all right. You didn't say my address. So
No,
we're
no.
safe. Fairfax is a big place.
Oh, okay, we'll keep the address secret.
All
So the main security agency there in Fairfax doesn't have nuclear weapons and doesn't have real military armament. And there's several of them. Some have a few police, some have less, some have different amounts of military firepower, but none really have anything like a nuclear weapon. So I asked you in the debate if you got an extortion note from, let's say, North Korea,
Right.
and at this point they're already able to deliver a nuclear weapon to Fairfax. They said you guys have to pay us $1 billion, or else we're going to nuke you.
Right.
And in the first the first time I asked you that, you said that you would pay, and then the second time you said you wouldn't pay. So I'm wondering if you've reconsidered, or which of the two
well,
is.
first of all, I mean, I think the question itself is not really a realistic. Look, there are countries today that don't have nuclear bombs that are not getting attacked by countries that do. So why? If you need nuclear bombs in order to be safe, why is Monaco not getting attacked by the United States?
Okay,
Why
you
is
asking a
Canada-
question, right? So you didn't want to answer my question.
No, I'm just saying that your
But
question-
I will happily answer your question. But which one are we going to do first? Are you going to do my question first, or you want me to answer first?
Whatever you prefer, but the point
Okay,
of my
but
question,
I know you say.
the point of my question is to say.
Yeah, I'll
that-
answer it. Okay, if you
Go
want.
ahead.
So since you think my question isn't valid because it's unreasonable, and you look at the examples of these countries that don't have nukes and they don't get extortion notes, right? And it's very simple. Monaco doesn't get an extortion note because Monaco is under the jurisdiction first of France. Almost all French legislation applies in Monaco and in the European community. Now, in the European community, there are two nuclear powers, France and England, and they are much more powerful than North Korea. With its 15 nukes or 20 nukes, they have 100 or 200, or actually I think they have 400, both of them. So they are under the umbrella of protection from a nuclear power. So that's the answer to your question. Now can you answer my question?
Sure. Well, you sort of helped my question. I mean, let's say for the sake of argument that we have anarchy in Fairfax, but not in anywhere else. Well, look,
no, we have anarchy everywhere.